some of the people that came out of Mizraim, what the world calls Egypt, were other nations. Because there were other nations that dwelt in Mizraim as well as the Egyptians. Egypt was like a melting pot, as they say, right? So the Israelites that came out were mixed, were Arabs, which means some of them were actually fathers, were males from other nations. And some of them were actually females from other nations. We don't know which is which. Right? So every person in the nation of Israel didn't necessarily have to be from the loins of Yaakov. It was made up of other nations. Right? Now, just in case you say, brother, I'm not with that, I think it's us, I think it's just it. Hold on to your hat. Let's go back to Abraham. Let's see what the Most High told Abraham to do. The covenant didn't start with Israel. Right? Once we get that on our belt, there's no time for racism. Right? There's no time for that. Once we comprehend that this is a covenant that the Most High made with Abraham, and we see how the Most High told what he told Abraham to do, now we can see with clarity why Moshe and the descendants had no problem with other people.
And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. Mm-hmm. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, mm-hmm. every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
So, verse 12, it says, any stranger. Right? We're going to learn something today. You got two words there. You got ben, which means son. Because the one West can't teaching is that you are what your father is. Got you! So ben means the son of, wait a minute, hold on now. Watch this. I'm going to teach you. You're going to learn today. Right? Strange. Look at stranger, right? Nakar. Right? Nakar is the word for foreign or foreigner. Or it says heathendom. So these were not Israelites.
Like aliens.
These were foreigners to Israel. Foreigners to Abraham. Because we're talking about Abraham right now. They were not of his seed. They were foreigners. They were heathens that had to be cleaned up to come under the covenant of Abraham. Just like the heathens had to be cleaned up to come under the covenant of Israel. The Most High is not a respecter of persons. He made that clear through the mouth of the prophet. Yah is not a respecter of persons. Every nation. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. All right, now, I'm going to show you something, right? This. I'm going to show you something. You're going to learn today. Now, this word stranger is not the same word when the Most High said about Israel. Because I know somebody said, well, brother, what's the word for stranger when he refers to Israel? I'm glad you asked the question, right? So now, stranger, this word here, stranger, is nakar, once again, heathen or foreigner. Now, necker. See that word necker? Right? What does it sound like to you? Huh? A foreigner, right? A heathen, right? Now, what's the definition of a heathen? Without Yah, right? A heathen. Don't obey Yah. So what do they call us? Uh-oh, I'm jumping the gun. When we were in this land, what do they call us? Neckers. But neckers is a Hebrew word. But the English transliteration of that word is nigger. We're going to break it down a little further, all right? Look at the word 5234, right? All right? Nakar. Properly to scrutinize, that is to look intently at, hence with recognition implied. To acknowledge, to be acquainted with, care or respect, revere, or with supplication implied. To disregard, ignore, to be strange towards, reject, resign, dissimulate, as ignorant or disowning. So when the Gentiles called us niggers, they may not have knew where that word came from, but from the perspective of Hebrew, they were right. We were refused of Yah. So if you are Israelite keeping the covenant, you shouldn't refer to yourself as a nigger or nigga, because it all ties together. You're saying you are rejected of Yah when you call yourself a nigger or nigger. Did you learn today? Join us each Shabbat, Saturday, 12 noon, Sons of the Covenant, live stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We'll see you there.